come together, feel that rise. Watch the game while the beat flows. At the sports bar where anything goes. Laughter and joy, we're in the zone. On the swivel at the sports bar. Cheering loud, feeling like a star. Good times, laughter and every score. On the swivel, come back for more. Come back for more. Tasty treats and soulful sounds. Feel the rhythm, it's where joy's found. With every cheer we come alive. Come on in, let's thrive and jive. In this moment we find our groove. On the swivel at the sports bar. Cheering loud, feeling like a star. Good times, laughter and every score. On the swivel, come back for more. Come back for more. Come back for more. Tasty treats and soulful sounds. Feel the rhythm, it's where joy's found. With every cheer we come alive. Come on in, let's thrive and jive. In this moment we find our groove. On the swivel at the sports bar. Cheering loud, feeling like a star. Good times, laughter and every score. On the swivel, come back for more. Swing on by, don't miss the fun. At the sports bar, the best begun. Come back for more. 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 Come back for more.
Hey, what's happening? You're on the swivel at the sports bar. Hey, listen, I've been looking at a couple of things today, so I'm glad you're with me. This is going to be a real short thing. Some of my buddies might come up, some of them might not. That's okay. We're going to just talk a little bit of sports and get through tonight. This is my weekly show. Hit the like button on the way in. If you're a regular listener, great. If not, fine. Maybe you'll join up after that. But I'm always, hey, how you doing? What's that? Nudie? Hey, how you doing? Listen, I'm here every week. I try to make sure this thing is going on every week at 7 o'clock. Anyway, so let's get started. It's not, it's kind of the dog days of the NBA. There's no football. We just finished the Olympics. There's some stuff we could talk about. Some things might be juicy. Some things might not. You could put it in the chat if it's something I missed, and that's fine. And we could talk about that. Sometimes my fellas come up and we have some good conversations. Other than that, I just ramble on, man, Yeah, but this is, like I said, just like this thing says, this is for sports people from the guy next door. I'm not Stephen A. Smith. I'm not trying to be one of those talking heads. I don't have some corporate asshole telling me what to say and what not to say. I don't feel like I have to be right on everything I say. Who gives a shit? We're just talking sports. So I try to just keep it light. Sometimes I say some funny stuff. Sometimes I don't. But anyway, let's get going. What are we talking about today? Well, first we got to go through the motions, of course, of like, share, and subscribe. I got to say that, right? I have to say that. And even if I don't say that, I'm like being amiss. But I like people to hit the like button, even if you don't think anything else. Even if you don't like it, just hit the goddamn button. That helps out. Share this if you want some folks to hang out with you. If I get to know you, maybe we'll have some people up when they could talk. Subscribe to the channel. Just when I do a simulcast on my primary channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports, and there I talk a lot more politics and some relationship stuff. And I used to have this sports show on that channel, but I thought sports should have its own channel as well. So you can subscribe to this channel, Unique Sports Talk. And of course, you can join the chat anytime on either channel. And then after this is done, you could comment on the replay. All right. So disclaimer, I use some stuff from other content creators. So it's fair use. So far I haven't really I haven't had any copyright stuff. So I'm kind of good at the fair use stuff. And, so there it is. So those things I just need to say. We're at the football off season. So what are we going to talk about with football? Some recent updates. I'm going to just play this clip because you know what? Football never ends. There's always something to talk about. But if there's no games, what else are you going to talk about? So let me just play this clip and we just listen to it together.
Here's all the major news you missed during the NFL offseason. Nearly everyone around the league believes that the Dolphins are going to release Tua instead of trading him.
What do y'all think? I think it's time for Tua to go, right? I think everybody knows. First of all, I like Tua, but his limitations are clear. They're not going to win anything more than they have won with Tua. They're just not. Right? Everybody knows that, right?
Keep up with all the offseason NFL news, make sure you hit that follow button. NFL finally admitted months later that they got the call on this play wrong. They said that Isaiah Likely did make the catch. Ravens got screwed. The Jets
Ravens got screwed. We knew it on the play and after the play. So it doesn't matter what the hell the NFL says later on. It doesn't matter now.
Plans of using either a franchise tag or transition tag on Breece Hall if they can't come up with an extension with him. The Titans may look to pivot to signing Wan'Dale Robinson if they can't land Alec Pierce.
Hold on for a second, everybody.
Around the league believe that Malik Willis is going to command around 30 to 35 million per year. Texans GM Nick Caserio says that there's no chance they're trading CJ Stroud this offseason. The Vikings have had trade talks with other teams regarding Javon Hargrave. The Jets are apparently showing interest in trading for Tanner McGee. Bears have received trade calls this offseason regarding Tyson Bagent. The Commanders have not yet made a decision on whether or not they want to release Marshawn Lattimore and that they're very motivated to extend Lermy Tunsil. Falcons confirmed that they're releasing Kirk Cousins the first day of the new league year.
I tell you, man, Kirk Cousins has had, if it's not a great career, he had a great financial career. As a guy who, he's first of all, he's better than the average player, but he's also made a whole lot more money than the average player as well. I mean, this guy, his contractual situation was a dream. So hopefully, if he doesn't, he'll land somewhere. But the point really is he's maximized his worth as a quarterback. There's just no doubt about it. So, hey, kudos to Kirk Cousins. Shit, he don't give a shit whether they cut him or not, man. He's living on easy street.
Travarius Ward, who was considering retiring this offseason, is now rethinking against it. Patriots EVP Elliot Wolf was non-committal regarding Stephon Diggs, whether or not he's going to be back with the team. Bears GM Ryan Poole says
So, you know what? Stephon Diggs is, a lot of people think he's younger than he is. He's in his 30s. He's a decent receiver. I have a feeling, man, his off the court shenanigans, the fact that he's an undisciplined sperm donor to the league, to the world out there. Some of the owners, no matter what you say, and no matter what people say, I think people look at you differently, even if you're a man, right? We have names for that when we talk about women. But a man who's undisciplined, having babies all over the place with like 5, he had last year with Cardi B was just probably the cross the Rubicon, right? That same year, I think he had 4 babies by 4 different women. Listen, I don't give a shit who you are. If I was an owner of a team, I don't think I would like this guy. I'd pay him for his skill, but and I don't like to monitor any man's Johnson, but he's not the kind of guy who looks like he's a loving father to anybody's kids. He's just popping them out there, and paying child support as it comes if the women are smart enough to tag that on him. And he's moving on to the next chick. He doesn't represent anything that I would call a good man in terms of spirituality and stuff like that. So I think that's playing against him. They might like him as a person, but at some point, your character has to matter. It just has to matter.
Holds DJ Moore at high regard when asked about trading him this offseason. The Vikings promoted Josh McCown as their pass game coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Panthers offensive coordinator Brad Itzik is going to be calling the plays next season. Bobby Wagner intends to play next season for his 15th year in the league. 49ers may release Trent Williams if they can't resolve his $39 million cap hit. Eagles are going to be meeting with Dallas Goedert's agent at the Combine to see if they could come up with a new deal for Goddard to keep him in Philly. Sean Payne revealed that the offensive coordinator Davis Webb is going to be
Philly needs to keep Goddard unless they have a better tight end in the wings. If they don't, even in his older age, even though he might have fallen off, you need a tight end like this guy. You got to have a tight end that people actually know his name. You know what I'm saying? Because when you need them the most, these kind of tight ends are the guys who make the catches that changes games.
calling the plays for the Broncos next year. Taylor Decker, who was contemplating retirement, is now going to be returning next season. The Lions are going to be playing in Munich, Germany this next season. The 49ers are bringing back former Vikings GM Kwesi as a personal executive.
Odds
and Brown
so
has
that's the end
the
of
fifth
that.
best odds.
All right, so that's the end of that little clip. Let's go back.
Here's all the major news you missed during the NFL off.
Let me go back to this. All right. Well, let's go to the NBA. All right, so the NBA after the All-Star game, after the All-Star game, we always go into the dog days of the NBA. You're always looking for, into the play-in games and things of that nature. So I don't have much to say other than, I used to do these highlight reels. So that's where we are right now. Let's just do the top 10 highlights. No drama and all that kind of shit. Let's just enjoy the top 10 highlights and, and go from there.
11 games of Hoops on a Tuesday. We got your top 10 right here on NBA.com. At number 10, have caution when LeBron's catching passes from Austin. Look at him go up to the cup and throw that one home, getting in at number 10. Moving on to number 9, and Gabe Vincent playing tricks on Bub Carrington, and he's going to be carrying when he sees this play because Gabe has a nice display of offense at his expense. That one gets in at number 9. We're up to number 8, and we're going with a behind-the-spine dime right down the lane, setting up Aaron Wiggins for the easy jam, and this play from OKC lands at number 8. We're up to number 7, and it's pretty scary when it looks like St. Vincent St. Mary from the old fella. LeBron James tracking back and smacking that from Anthony Black. Beautiful defense from LeBron getting in at number 7, and the defensive edition of the top 10 continues. Ron Harper Jr. with the chase down block, and Hugo Gonzalez gets the rock and just takes the momentum all the way to the other end to complete this play. Just a gorgeous rejection on one end, and then Hugo bouncing off everybody to get the layup on the other end to get in at number 6. At number 5, how about more defense? Just keep your eye on Zion. Look at Zion Williamson flying in, and gee whiz. Zion. Man,
is there anybody, man, that's more disappointed than Zion Williams? Zion Williamson, a lot of people like to talk about that he's overweight. I think his character, his choice in women has pretty much destroyed anything that he had to be an absolute superstar in this league. I don't think if his weight is as much to do with how brittle his body is. There's guys who've never been that heavy who can't really play without getting hurt. I don't think it's just the weight. I just think it's his eating, his mental, all that shit, and the kind of women he chooses as people to be with him. A lot of people might not think that's important, but as a man, you're a whole person. The choices you make matter. They just fucking matter, man. And he makes so many bad choices. And let me also tell you, as a man, you're no more vulnerable to anybody on the face of the earth than the woman you choose to lay next to. And he laid next to some of the most ratchet ass honeys in the whole world. And I think it matters. It's his marketing, it matters. He should have so much more marketing money and everything like that. It's just that he's just one of those kind of country boys who's just a bumpkin. I think his esteem is so low. His standards are so low. He's acting like he's like a guy on Skid Row and not a multi-millionaire who should be demanding the most highest class woman that's out there. But that's not him. And I think it impacts almost everything he does.
Watch that shot way out of bounds. That one's in at number 5 for the Pelicans. On to number 4, where we always get up off the floor, and Dennis Schroeder spots a vertical intruder. Donovan Mitchell coming right down the.
Has anybody counted how many teams Dennis Schroeder has been on? Schroeder, listen, I think his German, man, is perfect, right? I think he's German born. I know his parents are immigrants, but I think he might actually be German born. And in Germany, and they just pass his ass around. He's not a bad player. There's got to be something about his personality. Well, first of all, he's the kind of NBA player, and this is bad luck. He's the kind of NBA player that's good enough to be on any team, and great enough to be a trade bargain in any trade. That's where he's at. That's the worst place you want to be as an NBA player. You're good enough to be in the NBA for your whole career. But, when people want to make trades, you're the bargaining chip that changes the trade. So, okay, we'll make that trade if you throw in Schroeder. Oh, yeah, we'll make that trade if we show in Schroeder. You'll make that trade. You know what, man? Poor dumb bastard. Because I tell you what, I say poor. He's not poor. He makes money every trade they make. But the point is, like any person, it'd be nice if somebody wants you well enough that they won't get rid of you at the drop of a dime because you sweeten the deal for the next guy. He's the guy that sweetens the deal. And that's a damn shame. You know what? If we go back, he's been in the league for a lot of years. It's not like he's like a rookie or anything. He's one of those journeymen that if he's a rider on a deal, we're going to make that deal because we can use Schroeder because he's good enough to be useful on any goddamn team. And so anyway, man, hats off to the brother, man. That's what I say. Hats off to the brother. He's still in the league.
Lane to bring the pain and just power punching that one home. Great pass from Schroeder to set up the stuff at number 4. At number 3, let's have some fun. Bounce it to yourself, top shelf. Jaden McDaniels putting the fun out there at a little flair as well to get in at number 3. We're up to number 2, and Zion back to 100%. You bet as he's racing down the court to crunch that one in. Zion flying in at number 2. But at number 1, Carlo Magdalevich really feeling this one because D'Anthony's melting Carlo as he goes right in for the power punch for the Golden State Warriors to land at number 1 on the NBA.com. Cut it.
That's my man. I like his NBA.com So, like, I'm gonna bring this back. I had it all last year. I'm gonna bring this back to make sure we go through the highlights. I like the way my man does the highlights. All right, what's next? Here's the standings in the NBA. Now that they're back, we're getting into the dog days. And if you're a big NBA fan, you're gonna watch as many games as you can. But the truth of the matter is, when we get down into the playing games, that's when the NBA gets exciting again. You don't want to be in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th spot. That's the magic spot now, right? So it's a good thing for the NBA, kind of from the standpoint that you want to be in 6th place. If your team is mediocre, you want to be in 6th place just so you don't have to go through the drudgery of the playing game tournament, right, from 7 to 10, right? And so you look at the Lakers, they're like just like 1 or 2 games above the playing game. The Warriors, their team is not like your team of the old, but they're right in the mix. And they could usually win these play-ins. And then if the Warriors win 7th or 8th spot, nobody really wants to play them because of Steph Curry, right? The guy's an ageless wonder. I mean, he's aged because you know why? Because his game is running to a position and shooting. Yeah, how old is too old for that position? Right? Running is really just, having the right aerobics, and shooting is like a punch. If you're an old heavyweight, that right hand is still going to knock somebody out. So he could do this shit for a long time. Right? He's never been one for the defensive prowess. But like Steph Curry can run to a spot and shoot probably pretty much for the rest of his life if he wants to. Anyway, that's another story for another day. We don't have the same kind of Golden State Warriors, but the point is they're still competitive and nobody wants to play them, man. Because Golden State and they got Steph Curry. Anyway, so the Celtics are a surprise. I think they're gonna make some waves in the playoffs. The Celtics are gonna make some waves in the playoffs. No matter what's gonna happen, it's gonna be the Celtics and probably the Pistons, but it's gonna be the Celtics and somebody else for the Eastern Conference Championship. There's no doubt about it. And Jaylen Brown is the one who makes the difference. And unfortunately, I mean, they're saying that Tatum might be back. And the only people who understand that Jaylen and Tatum can play together is the Boston Celtics. Everybody else is stupid. Everybody else is stupid. If you put Jaylen and Tatum on the same basketball court, that means the defense can't double on either one of them. There you go, right there. And so, then the Thunder, I give them kudos for a championship team that has enough gumption to say we're going to stay tight as best we can all year to try to win 2 in a row. Right? So, and they have, right? They've lost some games in there. I think, is it Houston? Is whoever it has Yum or whatever his name is. Houston, not Houston, San Antonio. There's some teams that play them pretty well, but it's a good chance that they're going to repeat for the championship. Yeah, it's the Spurs. They got their number. But I'm thinking they're going to go back to try to repeat. So, I don't know. It'd be nice. I'm proud of the young boys because they're still hungry. They're still hungry. So you can't argue with guys who are still hungry. So we'll see how they play. So the NBA, you get the dog days. We're going to be in the dog days and shit. You got to search 800 fucking channels to find out what game is on where and all that kind of stuff. The fact that our big 3-4 is not on TNT anymore, Barkley and my man, the straight man, and Mr. Mumbles and Knock Need. You got to go find them on ESPN somewhere to hear what the hell they got to say. And I thought that was, if I could laugh at myself, I thought that was pretty good. That describes them all: Mumbles, straight man, knock knees, and asshole. Shit. Barkley's the asshole. So anyway, but I'm just saying, we're gonna get into the dog days, and we're gonna be looking forward to the positioning to see who gets into the playing games. And I tell you, NBA playoffs, which is a little while ago, they're exciting. I give the NBA credit for their playoffs, right? Because some of those games are pretty exciting, especially in the West. So and the play-in tournament is an exciting tournament. It really is, right? So I think that, I think the players just need to be a little bit more likable. If they were a little bit more likable, that would even be better. So anyway, NBA is the NBA. It's good to see Americans love their sports. That's the bottom line. So let's move on to what's next. All right, the WNBA. Here's where female nature can destroy anything. Female nature could destroy anything, and I think the females in the WNBA are just so female, and I think, first of all, the problem that we have, really have is a lot of guys, sports, money, the fact that the NBA is patriarchy over the WNBA, which nobody wants to agree to or admit to, but it is. It subsidizes these leagues, and you can't tell the women anything, right? So that's just like real life. Men, right, in 2026, women tell men to stick it up your ass so much that you can't really tell them, just shut the fuck up and sit down. You can't really tell them that. And so you have to let them crash out and burn all on their own so they could learn something. So you could come back like Kevin Samuels says, I told you so. So anyway, so here's what
you're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports.
Listen, you know what? Go to Black and White Sports and subscribe to their channel. I'm using their stuff, fair use, fair use, fair use. But these guys are pretty good because they try to stay balanced, and you can feel their pain on the WNBA. But shit needs to be said. These chicks are blowing it big time, and nobody could tell them anything.
Supporters, well, I got to be honest. It's kind of wild that the WNBA Players Union and the players are acting like this day would never come, that they would never actually face a deadline because, well, it's February 25th and the season is about, training camp is what, less than 2 months away, around 2 months away? You got 2 expansion teams. You got a draft. You got 2 drafts. You got the expansion draft and the regular draft. You got free agency. Nearly everybody's a free agent. Did the players really think at some point they weren't going to get a sign it or else ultimatum?
See what I'm saying? My man, he's telling you what I'm telling you. Listen, I'm a man. I've been married for a long time. And the truth of the matter is, it takes a special, it shouldn't be a special man. It takes just a man who has an awareness of his own nature, and more importantly, having some awareness of female nature to understand how special women really are, and that you have to handle them in the right way, or else they just go off the fucking rails. You know what I'm saying? And, the women of the WNBA are on this train they're on the train to the Busan. Look that up. It's like the train to the Busan, right? Let me just kind of segue. It's a movie from Korea about of course, of the living dead, right? Attacking this one train going to Busan in Korea. It's one of the greatest zombie movies ever made. And women don't like to train to Busan. The last train to try to get somewhere safe and all the shit that you have to do to get there. And anyway, man, I'm tripping. All right, so let's continue. Go watch the Train to Busan and just think about what I said. Okay, let's continue. Oh my God.
I guess so. Guys, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. Check out blackwhitenetwork.com for memberships, exclusive content, and merch.
I you know what? I'm using this content, but subscribe to this channel just like I did. Subscribe to his channel because he has a brother on there too. I don't know if it's like one of those kind of things. Is a white man and a black man, but they get together, man. They have a really, really great channel. So go ahead and subscribe to them about sports. I like them. So I use their stuff. So fair use, fair use, fair use.
So we will also get to how does this affect the Indiana Fever specifically? And we'll take a look at that. So here we go. We got Alexa Philippou over on ESPN talking about the players' reaction to the deadline that they were given. Of course, the Adam Silver, Kathy Engelbert got together virtually with about 50 players and slapped them with this big old fat deadline. And you can imagine, I mean, look at the people involved here. Nneka Ogwumike, Natasha Cloud, Brianna Stewart. I mean, of course, their attitudes were going to get foul. Of course they were. Their attitudes are foul when they're in a good mood, evidently. And we've seen pretty obviously they don't know business. So, and are you really going to delay the season? You're cutting into your own money. Your own money. I don't know. Doesn't seem like smart business to me.
Malik, I guess you could call it a deadline of sorts. The players were told in that meeting yesterday that if a term sheet is not completed by March 10th, then the most likely outcome is that the season will be impacted. Now, a source close to the players told me today that this was not taken well by the players when they heard this, that especially after the league took 6 weeks to respond to a union proposal at the beginning of the year, it just did not go over well, and that the players see this as an attempt for the league to pressure them into taking a deal they are not comfortable with. Now, the league, on the other hand, they've continued to stand by their proposal as a win for the players, and sources tell me the league sees this March 10th date as simply reality of this is what we need. We need this amount of time for off-season activity to get done. You have an expansion draft that still needs to be held. You have all but 2 league veterans hitting free agency, right, and you still are hoping that the season can start on time.
All right, so Welcome to the Ben Daniel Podcast, where we're calling a spade a spade. Great to be here with you guys today. They're not just watching because of one person. They're watching because of me too. Well, Miss Reese, are you sure about that? Angel Reese's anticipated return to Unrivaled was a complete flop. Oh, yeah, you hate to see it. Question.
You know,
Do you think if Caitlin Clark was to participate in Unrivaled, do you think her games would look any?
You know what? Yeah, I thank you. I appreciate you coming on, Cordelia. I'm an idiot. I had some good shit there. It's going now. I did. You know what? I was coughing, so I put my mic on mute, and I forgot to take it off. It's okay. It's okay. It happens. But anyway, we're back now, so you can hear me. But this guy is talking about the WNBA and the fact that they're blowing it, thinking they could use the rival league as leverage against the WNBA, but it's not happening. It's not happening. It's not working.
Anything similar to the rest of the league? Heck no. She'd probably pull in 700,000 viewers. 700,000 at the minimum. That's me lowballing. Me playing it safe. 700,000 just to watch CC play some 3v3 basketball. The other games, just because of the Caitlin Clark effect, they'd probably rise to a little bit over 200K. It's just Caitlin Clark effect. It is what it is. It's the truth. Caitlin Clark's present.
Everybody out there, from now on, I'm coughing into the mic. Because if I have to go mute and look like an asshole, I'd rather cough into the mic. Anyway, the bottom line is, I'm going to let this guy go because he's pretty good. You could go ahead and subscribe to his channel. He really follows the WNBA really closely.
Makes everything else grow. A rising tide lifts all boats, and she is that tide. So when I tell you Angel Reese's return was a fail, it was a fail. Let's get right into it. Please like the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. Angel Reese's return, Friday, February 20th, 2026. Hive versus Rose. 40,000 viewers in the advertising demographic, 18 to 49, and 130,000 viewers on TNT. 130,000 viewers on TNT. Yikes. This is no bueno. Let's take a look at another one of the Rose's numbers before Angel Reese showed up. Rose versus Lunar Owls, the same 18 to 49 demographic, the same 40,000 viewers. So we didn't even improve on the advertising side of things. And the worst part of all of this is that a random Friday game, February 6th, I believe this is not the Philadelphia game. Not the Philadelphia game. A random Hive versus Breeze. 40,000 viewers in the 18 to 49. But 150,000 viewers total. Angel Reese's return game couldn't even do better than a random Friday night game between the Hive and the Breeze. Oh, no.
Well, you know what? So you get the point. This guy really clocks it, really well. He follows all these intricacies of the WNBA. And the truth of the matter is, Unrivaled is not going to be a safe haven for the WNBA to use it as leverage against, not the WNBA, but some of the players in the WNBA. You're not going to be able to use Unrivaled to get the million and billionaires in the WNBA to change what they want to do. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Hey, what's going on, daughter? Anyway, so the bottom line is It is what it is. You know, it is. It didn't have the impact that a lot of people thought it was going to have in the rival league, and so there you have it. You know, so we're getting ready to go to the playoffs, and they still got to get their shit together. I watched a few games last year. I didn't watch any this year. I got to be honest. So that's where we are. That's exactly where we are. Okay. What's next? I didn't put the preliminary thing there, but the NHL, the guys are still coming back from the Olympics. So we're at other sports banter. So what's new that we should know about? So as most of you know, we've just come through the Olympics. Okay, and here's the final medal tally where the United States fit. Okay, so we didn't win the most medals this year. In the Winter Olympics, it's always close. In the Summer Olympics, we win a lot more medals. But in the Winter Olympics, you know, some of the other teams are more equipped for winter sports. So when an American wins an Olympic gold in the winter, it's really special. It's really special. When an American wins a gold or a team wins a gold in the Winter Olympics, it's not as expected as it is in the summer. It really isn't, you know? And so you got to give them some kudos, more kudos for Winter Olympics than others. So here we go. Let's see what the deal is. So this is the winner total count, but let's look at, for a change, the American Hockey League for men and women. They both won gold. They both won gold, and you got to give them credit for that. They both won gold. The men, this is the first gold medal for the team since 1980. Since 1980, and we're going to come back to that on the next slide. But since 1980, the American men team hasn't won a gold. And so now they have. And that's fantastic. I think it's fantastic. I hope you guys think it's fantastic too. And then for the American women's team, they've won 3 medals, 98, 2018. I said 29-18. Well, if America's still here in 29-18, we'll be doing really good. But 2018 and 2026. You know, kudos to the honeys. You know, kudos to the women. You know, they won. And then, of course, our girl, Alicia Liu, right? Again, she won the gold in figure skating, which hasn't happened since for 24 years. So these gold medals are kind of historic. You know, they're not just regular gold medals. It's been a long time. You know, except for the female hockey team, which is pretty damn good. If they won 3, you know, if they won 2 in the last, but from 2018 and 2026, that's not bad. That's not bad. So they're good. So people are putting money and into the hockey team, you know, because I don't see female hockey anywhere that much. So somewhere they got to be practicing and playing and staying on top of their game. So when they get to the Olympics, they can actually win a medal. So obviously there's a female hockey league that pretty much I'm not a hockey fan. I don't know nothing about. But these women have to be sharp to be able to win the gold. Okay? So kudos to them. So what's next? So Stephen A. Smith talks about the president giving the Medal of Freedom to one of the male hockey players as a goalie. And I'm saying, shit, man, this is pretty good because I saw the presidential State of the Union address, but I'm crossing over for sports because Stephen A. Smith is talking about the Medal of Honor as to whether a person who is on a sports team actually deserves one. So let's go ahead and listen.
Give a Medal of Freedom award, an honor rather, to Mr. Connor Hellebuck, the goalie for Team USA. That was nothing short of spectacular in the gold medal game against Canada. He stopped 41 shots out of 42. And even though Canada outshot the Americans 42-28, his .976 save percentage in the final just basically proved that without him, the U.S. likely doesn't win the gold. And when
I think people don't realize how many shots were put on the goal that he had to stop in order to win this game. It's nothing short of absolutely phenomenal.
Not celebrating Team USA the way that we are at this particular moment in time. He finished with a 1.18 goals against average and a .956 save percentage in the tournament, saving 131 of 137 shots. This is the National Hockey League's reigning league MVP. A 3-time trophy winner for the NHL's top goalie award, including the last 2 such awards. This is the same guy that played in the Four Nations face-off last year, but was maligned because they lost the title game, and that conjured up some past criticisms from his NHL career, claiming he doesn't play his best when the pressure is turned up in the playoffs, but he overcame that. And obviously, it all culminated in a gold medal, or at least one would think, but then he shows up to the Capitol last night, and he's awarded with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And President Trump highlighted how he wouldn't have given it to him if any of the players had stood up and questioned whether or not he deserved it. But every single player that showed up in attendance were of the mindset that he absolutely positively deserved it. And that's why he ended up getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom. So I said, let me look it up to remind myself what the hell this award is for. Okay, because I'm sitting there saying, Presidential Medal of Freedom, wait a minute, how that happened? And obviously, for those of you who didn't know, the Presidential Medal of Freedom is the highest civilian honor in the United States. It's awarded by the president to recognize exceptional contributions to the nation or to.
I want to stop it there. Do you guys think that winning a gold medal and honoring the United States is an exception contribution to the nation? I do. Just on that one criteria alone, I do. Not like those assholes who shit on America in the beginning of the Olympics. Those 2 men and that 1 woman who shit on our country and still try to say they were representing America. To hell with those fucking people. I'm sorry for my language, but I got to say that. This guy didn't say anything like that. So he's getting a medal of honor because of not only his exceptional play, it's because he represented our country and he didn't put politics in the middle of it.
humanity. The medal honors individuals who have made extraordinary and lasting contributions in one or more of the following areas: national interest, culture and arts, science, medicine and technology, civil rights and social justice, humanitarian and global impact, okay? And who can receive it? U.S. citizens and non-citizens. It's awarded at the president's discretion, often given to civilians, but military personnel can receive it if for non-combat contributions. Military officials get it for the Medal of Honor. This is the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Looking up further, I said, well, who the hell has won this award in the past? I want to know. Then I saw dudes like Babe Ruth, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, Tiger Woods, Billie Jean King, Simone Biles, and others. And so let me not forget Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, Magic Johnson, Jerry West, Bob Cousy. I already mentioned Tiger Woods, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Nika Sorenstam, Gary Player. I also in Rapinoe, Lionel Messi, Willie Mays, Roberto Clemente, Dan Gable, wrestling, and of course Jesse Owens as well. So there's been a plethora of sports stars who have given it. I don't want to sit up there and ask a question to make it something debatable as to whether or not Hellebuck deserved it, but I still wanted to know how everybody felt about it. I think he deserves it.
Yes, I think he deserves it as well. Now, he goes on to say some other stuff. But the point in the end, even after Stephen A., a lot of times he likes to give kudos, then he comes back with some crap saying, oh, but. In this case, he was right. The guy deserved the Medal of Honor. And he read the criteria. And there's a lot of sportsmen who did it. But what he did to win the gold is huge, especially since we haven't won one in so long. It's very hard to keep that stupid puck out of the net. It's incredible. And people don't realize how padded these goalies are. I mean, they got all kinds of stuff on them, man. Anyway, so that was a good part of it. So I give kudos to Stephen A. For not coming up with one of his butts, like he likes to do. So good. I just wanted to play that. The reason why I'm trying to learn how to play the video, play the audio without the video, because YouTube and somehow the infinite wisdom decided to monetize my channel. So I got to learn how to stay monetized. Anyway, so what's next? Every so often I have my meet a certain person kind of thing, because a lot of people don't know people. This guy, Bruce Shushu Carrington, I didn't know about this guy. And he's a boxer. And he's a pretty good one. So I went through a lot of his stuff. And he actually, went through a certain amount of things to become the featherweight champion. And nobody knows about this guy. Well, at least not me. I like boxing. So I want to know who this guy is. He wants to fight Inoue, but he's a little heavier than Inoue. Right? It'd be a lot of money in it, but he's already bigger than him. I don't know if Inoue can make featherweight. That's how small he is, a Japanese fighter. But let's look at a little bit about Shushu. Just a small tidbit about Shushu and his power.
He comes back with a combination, but that shot right there had Castro out. You can see his legs stiffened up. That right hand got him hurt. 3 straight right hands in a row, and Castro was out. He comes back with a combination, but that shot right there had Castro out. You can see his legs stiffened up. That right hand got him hurt. 3 straight right hands.
My man didn't get up from that, right? And I don't know if that was it. Listen, I think this was his championship fight. But the point really is that this guy Carrington is a bad dude. So if you're in boxing at all, you need to put this dude on your radar. He's a championship now. He's a champion now. Unfortunately, his I want to say owners, right? But his promoters are gonna try to stop him from fighting the fights he needs to fight. You know, from the best, because once the guys come champion, they want to fight just once a year, one guy. It's really bullshit. And I hope Dana White somehow breaks the wheel in trying to get the best boxers to fight other best boxers. This guy's a pretty good boxer, you know, and he should be fighting at least 3 times a year. You know, forget about the money. You should be in the ring, not once a year, once every 2 years, so you can get the big money fight. We gotta break the hell out of those promoters who are stopping us from seeing the best fights that we should be able to fight. No such thing exists in the UFC. Dana White makes the best fighters fight each other, or else they're out. In boxing, we need more of that. You got to fight the best fighters or get the hell out of here. Just get the hell out. You're just wasting our time. Anyway, what's next? My questions. I only have a few questions. Oh, a couple of questions today. You know? Yeah. Yeah. You know, somehow, man. Yeah, thank you, I tell you. I tell you what, you know, what's YouTube? They're creating monsters as they go. One day I'll know how to be a good YouTuber. And maybe at that point I'll be able to make money. You know, this started out as just something for an old man to do in his retirement. And now, you know, my channel got big enough to get monetized. So I appreciate, thanks a lot for even mentioning it, for even acknowledging that. So here we are. I have a couple of questions. You know, and I guess since my boys didn't come up today, it's just me and the questions, which is all right, because I don't mind speaking to myself. I do that in the dark all the time. Right, the WNBA CBA deadline is March 10th, and you guys can put it in the chat. Who do you think will buckle? You know, who's going to buckle first, the owners or the players? I think the owners are not moving. The owners have told the players, this is what it's going to be. And if you don't like it, we're going to end the season. So what do you think the players are going to do? Now, if you're a man, I think you know. If you're a woman, you're going to say all kinds of stuff. I don't want to be sexist. The truth of the matter is, I think women are going to be women. They're going to let their emotions get involved. And they're going to hold out until they realize that the owners who are just talking business, who are not talking emotionally, who are not talking anything, is going to let this shit just run out, and the season's going to be canceled. I believe the season's going to be canceled. That's my goal. You tell me what you think it is. I think the season's going to be canceled because the players are not going to realize, the owners are not going to budge any more than they have. They're not going to give you 27% collective. They're not going to give you 27% of the revenue sharing. You know why? Because there's no profits. So the 100% of the revenues they pay you is going to be a bill to them, right? So whatever bills, paying for the arenas, paying for the promotion, paying for the regular salaries, paying for all that, you want them to pay an extra 27% as a bill, so you can get collective bargaining on the revenues. The owners are saying, you know, we're not going to do that. They're never going to do that. It's not even good business sense. We're not making any money. None. If you were making 10% over revenue, you had 10% of earnings over revenue or something like that, they might say, you know what, man, we can eat a little bit of the the gross, just to make sure these ladies are happy, because we're making money. It's, in the end, we're still making money. But there's not, they're in a deficit. And I think the emotions and the crazy ass women who are running the WNBA Players Association, I think they don't have, I think they're blinded. I really feel sorry for females in this kind of situation, because I think they really can't see what's going on. I really don't. Okay, so the next one. Do you think the Unrivaled League gives the women leverage against the WNBA? Well, I think they thought it would, but it's not playing out that way. The Unrivaled League may be going to fold next year. Some people threw up a whole bunch of money, but it's not working. The ratings are down on all the games. They thought that, Angel Reese coming back, she doesn't even like to play basketball. She wants to show her ass and her fashion to make money, and she forgets the fact that the only reason why people even know who she is because of her basketball playing. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm thinking she's I'm thinking, it's not going to work. All I'm trying to say is, listen, I think the women, as much as, I think it's so crazy because a lot of men get a bad rap. Most men I know, we love the hell out of women, okay? And the fact that y'all have a certain amount of autonomy and power, a lot of us sit back and watch you guys, don't put the order to the chaos that you need to really get through. Some do, some don't. But the women of the WNBA are just, most of them are just hyenas. I hate to say it. You can't speak to them rationally, or else they wouldn't be in the position that they're in right now. I'm serious. Because better heads are not prevailing. At some point, better heads have to prevail. If on a man's side, right, a guy steps on your shoes, you got your boys, he got his boys, he puts a black mark on your white shoes, and all of a sudden you're going to get into a gunfight, right? Because just both sides are assholes, and you want to show how much testosterone each one of y'all have. So people are starting to lose their life over somebody stepping on somebody's shoe. That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent, right? Because, better heads are not prevailing. Listen, women, you want to keep the WNBA going, even if it's not for you, but for the future, because at some point, with the right set of women and the right situation, you might actually start making a profit. Caitlin Clark, I should say, was even if she ain't it, she showed you the possibilities of what it might look like, and you guys rejected it. You guys rejected it. You'll try to hurt this woman. Y'all hated this woman. Y'all have people coming out, and she had more eyes on all the games than any woman in the WNBA, white or black, in the past. And y'all rejected it because y'all stupid. Stupid. And if they cancel the WNBA because of women being stupid, shame on you. Shame on you. So I'm going to see if the owners buckle or if the players buckle. And I have a feeling the owners are going to let you guys swim in your own shit. That's what I think. That's what I think. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But, so that's my sports commentary, because I can't fix it. I can only talk about it. If I'm wrong, throw something in the chat after on replay and all that kind of stuff, you WNBA lovers out there. the one or two of you that still exist. You know what I'm saying? And so that's it. So what else do I got? Boxing. Again, you know, I didn't update this list, but my man Ryan Garcia won his fight. That was the last one on the list. He won his fight unanimously on the 21st of Feb. So then I'm gonna update this list for next week and all that kind of stuff. And so we're gonna move on. Again, so you saw this chart before. Hit the like button. You know, I mean, there was a little blank spot in there when I was stupidly on mute, but just know what was going on. Share the link, subscribe. I'll be back here next week on Wednesday, and I promise not to have a mute mute button on, so you might not hear me. So subscribe to the channel. This one, Unique Sports Talk. Subscribe to this channel, or Marriage, Politics, and Sports. That was the one I originally started. That's my main channel, because I was talking about all these things. I have some relationship stuff on there. I got songs on there. I got women speaking on. I got everything on Marriage, Politics, and Sports. But I wanted to move the sports channel to its own category, even though I share it back on MPS. Join the chat, and whenever you can. I'll be back here next Wednesday at 7 for season 3, episode 12, and comment, you know, in a comment box if you're looking at this on replay. And that's pretty much it. Of course, fair use for everybody. I use your content. I always do that. It seems like YouTube doesn't really get on my case for using certain content for this sports show. Hopefully that'll stay the same even if I'm monetized or not on my other channel, because I do simulcast this on the other channel. On this channel, I'm not monetized, Unique Sports Talk, but that doesn't matter. So, hey, listen, I welcome everybody here on the Swivel at the Sports Bar. That's something I just thought up years ago, or probably 10 years ago, because I used to go to sports bars all the time, and they have TVs all around the place. And I felt like, you know, the guys from Cheers, you know, that just had their own rotating chairs. You could see all the sports and have all the people that you know and met in the sports bar. And it's pretty good. The owner of the sports bar I went to, he passed away, and he was a young man when he did. And but I just thought about myself on the swivel at the sports bar, because he had like 12 TVs all over the place. Anyway, so that's it. And so, of course, stay tuned for the outro. And we'll see you next week. And remember, you could check out my channel here on Marriage, Politics, and Sports, where if you like politics, I'm on there. I do lives. I did one today on the State of the Union address. And, of course, I have my other kind of stuff. Look at my playlist and all that kind of stuff. So we'll go. All right, so we're out. Yeah, the outro music, the same outro music for sports is coming up. It is coming up right at you, I can tell you. Just for you and for me, because for some reason, I love this one. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Grab your friends, it's time to play. Join the fun, we're here all day. Watch the game with drinks in hand. On the swivel, let's take a stand. On the edge of our seats, we live for the thrill. In this moment together, we're feeling the chill. So here's to the laughter as we gaze at the stars. We say goodnight from the swivel at the sports bar. In the flicker of the screens where our spirits ignite, let's cherish this time as we fade into light. fights and big screen thrills. Every moment gives you chills. High fives and cheers, it's quite a sight. Join the crowd, it feels so right. As the game goes on, our hearts beat as one. Memories in the making, oh, this night's just begun. So here's to the laughter as we gaze at the stars. We say goodnight from the swivel at the sports bar. In the flicker of the screens where our spirits unite, let's cherish this time as we fade into light. So good night, my friends, till